it's nice to have some semblance of normalcy. And that, to me, and I know a lot of others, Ken Rosenthal, is baseball in the summer. And right now, there is no baseball being played because their negotiations between the players and the owners are not good. Last night, you had an article that simply said the union will not take any further pay cuts. So where in the world are we right now?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Kevin. The idea of starting the season July 4th, that is pretty much gone. There's simply not enough time to get the training sites ready, to have spring training, get the players back in the country, all the things that need to happen. The medical compliance with the new protocols can't happen in time for an 82-game season to begin on July 4th. So with the union saying we're not accepting anything less than the prorated salaries we agreed to in March, baseball is effectively contemplating the idea of a season of around 50 games. And if they do that, if the commissioner exercises what seems to be his right to dictate the schedule, well, forget about expanded playoffs because the union will not agree to them. So we're sitting in this place where the two sides are at odds. They're not necessarily even talking to one another the way they should be. The owners have said, the league has said, we're not making another proposal just yet. So we're waiting. Now, do I believe baseball will be played in 2020? I do, but they've already blown one opportunity. July 4th opening day, which would have been such a great moment for the country. What else will they blow? That remains to be seen.
It's to the point. There's so much else. I mean, we touched on it for 20 seconds at the top of the show. It seems so trivial that baseball cannot figure out a way to get on the field and play. It does. And look, besides the math, which is what this always comes down to, the number of games you mentioned. Major League Baseball wants 50, which is, to me, an absurdly low number when you could get more. Players say, 114. Can't we just meet in the middle, Ken? I mean, where are we on that issue in terms of playing games? And we know the postseason is big too, but just about games, where can we find a common ground?
Well, Major League Baseball says 50 if the players continue to insist on their full prorated salaries. Now, if the players would take a cut, then sure, baseball would play more games because they would be paying as much money in the per game basis. But at the same time, this is something that the players are seemingly set in stone about. They do not want to make a concession on salary, a cut on their per game pay, even if they would make ultimately more money going 82 games instead of 50. Now that to me seems to be cutting off your nose to spite your face, but they are operating from a position of unity. They say they are tired of giving and giving and giving in various ways to the owners, and this is where they're taking their stand. Do I agree with it? Not necessarily. In my view, these two sides should be trying to form a partnership and treating this as a one-off, an unprecedented occurrence, but they are trapped in their own histories. They're trapped by the perils of their relationship from the past, and right now they're having a hard time moving forward.
Just one quick one, Ken, before we let you move on here. I know there's no hard deadline in these negotiations, but you said something telling. July 4th, it just would have meant something because, wow, here it is, 4th of July, baseball's back. Feel like, okay, we're moving forward and maybe getting, more normalcy and having baseball back. Look, 50 games, whatever it is, in your head, isn't there have to be some sort of deadline here before it's just like, forget it? I mean, it's not going to happen. I'm just curious what you think about that overall. I know the players and the owners won't put it out there, but what do you think?
Kevin, one thing we haven't mentioned is that the owners are saying effectively they do not want to play past October 31st. They want the World Series to end when it normally ends because there is a fear of a second wave hitting in the fall, and their medical experts have advised them to get this thing done with as quickly as possible. So if you start using the calendar and counting days, you can still have a 50-game season, I guess, starting around August 1st, but the NBA starting July 31st, you're bumping right into them and their playoffs. I don't know that that's a great idea for the sport. One of the possibilities that was presented here by getting this done early, this deal done early, the second agreement, would be the idea of being the first professional sport to come back. And is that another opportunity that will be blown here? Right now, it looks like it's possible, but as for a hard deadline, Kevin, I couldn't name a hard deadline, but certainly the clock is ticking, time is wasting, and the season is not going to be perhaps what it could have been.
Kenny, it's all great stuff and excellent points.